Good morning. How is everybody? Hopefully, everybody's okay. And I'm going to jump right in order to kind of like explain what I really am eager to explain. Let's put this a little bit down in the background. So, today I'm talking about Pluto in Aquarius, and it's going to happen in where is my note? In like just short of 9 hours. So it's going to happen at 8:51 p.m. in Atlantic Standard Time where I am. That's 7:51 Eastern Standard Time, and it is 4:51 this afternoon Pacific Standard Time. So we are basically in the last moment in the shadow. Like now you can basically experience what means shadow. So Pluto is very, very distant planet, gassy planet. It's very small that has lost um, its reputation as a planet because it's more like a meteorite, but nonetheless it's extremely powerful. So back in the old times, they Pluto came later when it got discovered to rule Scorpio. Up to that point, Scorpio was ruled with Mars, and also Aries is ruled with Mars. So in Aries, this is like I'm a leader. I just want to do this. I am the king. I'm important. I'm taking this door down. Right? Very physical, very kind of like I'll show you. So basically, the period of Aries was filled with wars and stuff like that, right? Because it was all like who has the biggest one. Pluto is boss of the boss. It's like somebody who is pulling things behind the scenes. So transit of Pluto lasts what 280 years. So each sign, it's not proportionate because ellipse is different around us. So different signs, depending if you're close or if you're distant to it, is going to last longer. Actually, Aquarius is going to be one of the shorter transits, and it's going to be if you are like in my demographics age group here, which is like 40s, 50s on this channel, probably for the rest of our lives or rest of our significant part of lives. Let me correct myself that way. So it's extremely powerful planet. And from the water signs, Pluto seems to be the most intense. From air signs, Aquarius seems to be the most intense. And this is kind of like what we are heading. So what I'm basically envisioning today is to go through let's call it presentation. I hate to like call it PowerPoint, but like I did have actually certain things that I have summarized to show you what we can do, what you shouldn't be doing. So, just a word of advice to start with. As today we are in the shadow, is today we are technically in the devil card. So I guess you're probably feeling lazy. You're probably feeling you don't want to do anything. You're probably feeling I'm going to eat. I'm actually preparing pizza for today. You know what? Go ahead, do it. It's kind of like that indulgence. That indulgence is going to go away. So, is this change going to be great? Because everybody talks about it as a great change, and I am really poised here to really worry because my sun is in Aquarius, my moon is in Leo, and now that I relocated, when you relocate, your ascendant changes. So it's no longer Libra now; it's also Leo. So now it's the balance. Like so, Aquarius and Leo always kind of like move forward. So Leo is the king, and Aquarius is the killer of the king. So that's literally what it means, and that's what it happened the last time. We don't remember, but it was when the Americans changed their constitution and George Washington reigned. So that was the time. It was we the people, as I said in my podcast yesterday. But you can just imagine it was on their minds. It was the care for everybody. It wasn't how do I benefit out of it? How do I write in that my corporation or my company benefits? How do I do this? It was really everybody. And now just imagine it went all the way through the other signs. The very last one, it was Capricorn. So this is going to be very interesting. So what I'm going to do, and Lorna is with me in the studio. She's going to be probably putting the signs when I get to the signs. All I'm going to go to today is I'm going to pull one card. I did already signify what kind of changes you guys going to have, but since you're also individual on top of the collective, and this is transformational change if it goes for 20 years. So basically, they're counting last year, and it's going to last all the way until 2043. So it's still going to go off a little bit from Aquarius, I believe, from September 1st to November 19th, which is going to be a period of elections. And Capricorn is all about fighting for the power and retaining power. And Aquarius is like, no, your power means nothing to me unless this power is based on the right principles. It's very weird. Like, I mean, if you have to live your whole life as an Aquarius, and all my life I felt like a complete outsider, that kind of like you don't belong, you don't know what you're doing it. And now you have to lead with having in the back of your mind everybody telling you, no, let's do it this way, oh, this is just like too much out there. And now you're being told all of these things too much out there now are in, and you have to do it, but you're conditioned. So that's the conditioning that basically Capricorn settles us with, that we need to kind of like cut and get through it. So let me kind of add this to the stage. This is my little presentation. I'm going to do it this way so you can see it if you're on the smaller devices, but I'll be telling you about it. So basically what I did is kind of like put things together. So Pluto is the planet of that great transformation, as I told you, right? And it is going in the deep of our soul. Something has to be major, something is all or nothing, right? And so when it enters Aquarius, right, in on March 23rd, when what did I say, March 23rd? No, it would be today. We'll be transiting. Oh, 2023. That was like last year. Sorry. So Pluto is carrying these themes of information technology, data, science. So we did actually see explosion of AI. We did see that was like a big debate. Should it stay? Should it not stay? Is it going to control us? Oh my gosh, somebody else is going to control us. Like in that, Aquarius is fearless. Aquarius couldn't care less if we're going to be controlled with AI, if that at the same time can heal people from cancer, if at the same time can actually feed the children, if at the same time we can all benefit out of it. So there is like completely different balance, right? So here, Aquarius, and I'm going to debate this a little bit later. I don't know, maybe I can just do it right away. It's kind of like the stipulation, kind of like what happens when you kind of like have the Saturn, because Aquarius is kind of ruled by Saturn. So that's basically, in short, what Aquarians are. So Saturn is structure, and Capricorn is also ruled by structure, and that's what we had up to this point, right? And but Aquarius is also ruled with Uranus, and Uranus is the only planet that kind of spins on the side, spins in the opposite way. It is just like weirdo, and that's why they say Aquarians are also weirdos, right? So this is going to be a big picture view, not like, I just need to be benefit right here, right now. Aquarius is humanitarian, which means, you know what? I don't care about your skin color. Just care who you are. So basically, we start seeing the entry into that kind of like stage, what they call it the Aquarian era. And this is kind of like one of the things. Also, what is happening today, by the way, and we already are in Aquarius, so happy birthday to Aquarius. They're conjuncting Pluto and Aquarius each other. Conjuncting means they're together. They're both on 0 degrees. Take a look at your natal chart. Like you can see it in my description. I think I provided a link. What other planets you have at 0? Look at these houses. Look at what these houses are representing. And these are the areas of your life that are going to be very much affected. So now, is this going to affect everybody right away? Possibly not. I know I was like, during this transition from March to what it was, to June last year, I was a little bit more busy. I think it was June 11th, because I remember I actually started a new job. It was like, okay, I need to kind of like do some different change, because this is same old, same old. This is exposing me to the other people and ideas. And I was like, push to do it. And then, like, I mean, Capricorn, it went back to retrograde in Capricorn, and it was like, okay, same old, same old. So addressing this Saturn and Uranus. So what basically happens if you mix structure? Let's put a little bit of structure, and let's put a little bit of change. So the first word that comes to my mind is chaos, because that's how I have been described for a long, long time. But actually, I believe, and you can correct me, guys, if I'm wrong, that this can have several different outcomes, such as stability. So structure and change, it can actually address that something is not working. So if the building doesn't have a proper structure and you kind of like enforce it, this now creates stability. So this is like one really good outcome. So basically, it's also organization. If organization adapts to changing market conditions, that's going to be really something that is going to give you ability to maintain and strive. The second, I think, outcome is transition. So in transitional phases, right, structure and change can coexist. So instead of like them fusing, as in the first situation is like, second shift is like this way, right? So kind of like one system shifts to another one, and this can be characterized by some level of instability. So I'm explaining all of that because you are going to also enter one of these three phases or keep shifting through one of them, right? And so that kind of like instability is until equilibrium is reached. A little bit kind of like Libra and like nature. Libras always strive for that equilibrium. If they're not in, that's not cool. And then, of course, yes, there's chaos. And chaos is organized anarchy, organized mess, right? So, under certain conditions, I would say, that kind of like is manifesting this way. And chaos theory actually is the creation of our universe. And most likely, I'm going to theorize here that universe has been created during the Aquarian kind of like a path, and it was set up with that in mind in order to kind of like set some stage of something supportive and nice, etc., right? So it's going to be lots of sensitive dependencies. It's kind of like cleaning your dirt, cleaning your baggage, if you go with that. I'm having Safi here having a nightmare, and she's like talking in her sleep. It's adorable. And I think the technology is going to really evolve, and instead of like me sitting in front of camera, that I'll be able to maybe kind of like shift to different cameras. I guess this already exists, but not for a regular Joe Schmo. So basically, here to summarize this first part, Pluto in Capricorn is tradition, very much transition, institutional reform, and accountability, right? And like, I mean, this is like structure. I'm in power. I'm very important. All the people, not necessarily kings. Kings like to be seen. Leo is the sign of the king. Look at me. Um, but Capricorns are the real kings, right? They are the ones behind the scene. They are the ones that are pulling all of the strings, right? So now it's going to be who you are. So there is like Justin Bieber or Kanye West entering in shoes and stuff inappropriately and something, but they're being authentic. They're being who they are. And as much as this could be jarring for everything that we have used to, because there is also that conditioning that's not going to happen overnight. We are all conditioned to be that way, because for the last since 2008, I believe we had a Capricorn in it. So all of this banking shift and what has to happen. But also Capricorn is great for stabilizing things with that Uranus, the structure doing it. And we just realized, it was a collapse because things really didn't work out properly. And as I said in my podcast yesterday, previously we had Leo, we had the rise of celebrity culture, and that I think is going to be one of the really massive changes. I don't know about you, and you probably know like what is now, like it's 2024. So I started my channel in 2017. So 7 years, you probably see me 3 times on a video. Um, I just didn't want to create controversy, even though I'm being Aquarius. It's very, very easy for me to do that. And this is like all there is in my private life. It's just like I don't take shit from anybody, and I literally speak my mind. But here, because this is my public forum, I kind of like really care to see if maybe somebody there, because I don't know who people are present, so I don't know my audience exactly. I kind of like really filter most of these things, and it's not going to happen anymore. I feel entitled to do that going forward, because I'm being told, no, you need to be you. So you guys are going to be seeing more of through me. If this means showing up in the morning in a bathrobe, so be it, right? Actually, I made an effort today to get dressed because, as I said, as the last day in the shadow of Capricorn stage, because it's always shadow before the light, because the Aquarius will turn on the light and it's going to be a little bit too much of the light also. So I'm going to indulge on my pizza, which I shouldn't be eating because I need to lose weight, but it's going to happen in time, right? So we are going to have some kind of transformation that is happening. Oh, thanks, Lorna. Thank God, for something. And I did spend some time in the morning to kind of make sure that like lighting is proper, etc. But here's like chart that I put together. So if you guys need to kind of like stop the screen, review this, this is basically the difference, how things are going to look like. You're going from tradition and authority to innovation and technology, but also to quirkiness, right? It's going to be untradition. And it's not going to be, so this is the best part of it. You know how we had, oh, this year black is in fashion, or this year we are going to see this motive. Not anymore. It's going to be, who are you? How you're communicating through your clothes, how you're communicating through how you care for yourself, how you're communicating with your thoughts, what you do in your life. Are you Christian, but you don't support homeless? You don't give them money? Are you, I don't know, Muslim, but you think that the murder is good for the other things? It's going to really shift us, everyone, not just me, everyone. That's why I'm saying this is a great reset. Like this is card in this card. I don't know if you can see it. This is the card of death. So this is basically where Pluto, what Pluto is. We are actually right now transitioning this, and I don't know if you really look at this card closely. You have one child turning away his face. You have another child completely mesmerized. And I know because I have the background, this is kind of tricky. But also, you have the Pope kind of like praising it because there's like something to benefit out of it. So keep in mind that also we have different things going on in addition to this. I'm going to get to it, such as Gemini is going to go, I believe, in. Jupiter is going to go in Gemini right now, is in Taurus. So, summary to give you this, you can read it yourself. I don't have to read this. Is that we had the air signs really dominating, like Pluto was in sorry, not air signs, earth signs, and earth signs, like they're generally very beautiful, right? This is like one of their great strengths. They like to acquire things. They like to kind of like have them for themselves. They like to show their wealth. So everything that I'm teaching in the Emperor and the Empress card, right, and the Devil, it's kind of like lure. Like watch the movie The Devil's Advocate. It's the lure with what you can get. Imagine if the person doesn't want anything. Imagine if the person is kind of like repulse with people's ideas, but not with if they stink, not if they, look bad. Like if just simply you are like really faulty person who is not treating other people well, who is not thinking about the other people, that would be repulsive going forward because Pluto gets this like called profound. Pluto means wealth. So the word plutocracy means geared by wealth. We are in plutocratic societies, both in Canada, US, Australia. I don't know where you're listening, but we kind of like have the rich people ruling our societies. I have a feeling this is going to change. It's going to change through not so much advocacy, but through these individual expressions of people who will kind of like surface with their ideas, because right now quirky will be okay. So in order to kind of show you the idea, I start with earth signs because they actually benefited the most under the transition in Capricorn. So Taurus, under this new kind of like regime, let's call it regime or the new system, is going to experience changes in their career and public image, right? And imagine like this beautiful earth signs and now saying to them, beautiful is not in anymore. Yeah, you have a beautiful garden, you have a beautiful home, but you know what? Like, I mean, you really, just you pass by people on the street, they're starving. So why are you putting this money into your flowers when you can help this person? So it's just going to be completely shift in how we think. So everything that earth signs value and who they really are is now going to be completely ignored, and it's going to be a really big shock for earth signs. I'm sorry to say, but I'm going to say how you basically rebalance with all of that. Virgo, they rule, like, I mean, self-programming, they rule these daily routines, but that's where they're going to experience changes. Hi, Onyx, did you come to see Mama? I don't know if you can capture him. I'm petting Onyx, who is invisible to the camera. So Virgo is also going to experience technological advancement, and they're really, really going to focus on self improvement and self esteem. That Hermit card that represents Virgo is having, like, should be having the person, like, in yoga position, who is just in a Zen world trying to figure out what is important for them. So, any activities like that is going to be helpful for Taurus. It's going to be really, you need to be able to embrace the others versus just keeping it to yourself. The Capricorn was a really big ruler, especially with Pluto being in Capricorn. But now the finances, which they organize for all of us, that these you have no money, you have no job, what do they call these, kind of like mortgages don't exist anymore, and they don't put people in such a kind of a crisis. But this is still going to go in a different way, because Capricorn is really appreciative of achievement. And if you see the goat jumping like those high cliffs and doing kind of like things, that's basically what Capricorn in action is. They like to pull strings in the background, always well presented, always well dressed. But you also have Capricorns who evolved, right? In my opinion, David Bowie was one of these evolved kind of like people who, um, like, I mean, did see the light, and he did try the quirky things, and he did go out of himself to try it and be kind of different. So Capricorn really needs to embrace the change, because it's going to be hard. Really, the hardest for Capricorn. That means air signs. And air signs, so we are fleety, like we are in the wind, and we sometimes need these earth signs to kind of ground us, to kind of keep us productive. Otherwise, we can, like, I mean, talk about their ideas. We can just talk what is in kind of like unimportant to most people for hours or for days, and debate societies. So it's going to be like that. We'll be floating in the air. Gemini, like Jupiter is entering Gemini. Jupiter is the biggest planet. So just imagine you have a kite outside, and you kind of like tie this kite to like a big stone in a park. And now all kites are up in the air. So it's going to be all airy. So what it means, being airy, that means debating ideas, debating big ideas, debating what is important. It's not going to be very much grounding. So it's going to be, we had everything was grounding like in the last 20 years, and now everything is going to be up in the air, literally. So Gemini is the master of communication, and this is going to kind of like push them into a situation. They will have, maybe go back to the university, definitely personal growth, definitely spirituality is going to be very important going forward. And lots of Geminis, I'll tell you, will experiment with drugs, and it's going to be quote unquote for the scientific purposes, because they will be so eager to expand their mind. So be careful about that. Libra uh, was really one-on-one, and Gemini is usually always inside transition, and they kind of like have these two faces like Pisces, and they have to overcome and to see how they are in balance. It doesn't have to be necessarily in balance with equal power. So one could be shadow, one could be light. So you don't want a shadow to be in the same kind of like same level as this, but like you knowing that you have a reign over it, that is really same level field, that you have a reign over it is really important. So Aquarius is the one going through this change, and everybody's talking about how great this is. Call me skeptical, right? As I said, two Leos and like one Aquarius, so it's the same axis, right? You're talking Leo and Aquarius on the same one. So Capricorn was opposing Cancer, so that was like kind of like that situation going on there. So each time that Pluto transits, it does bring big change. So when this change is kind of like triggered, a sign that also means change, that's kind of like going to be challenging and uncomfortable. So only thing I can tell you, Aquarians, even though this is what's going to happen, I will guarantee you this, that in 20 years, you're not going to be who you are today. If you can today write something in and just say who you are, how do you see yourself, how do you express yourself, and position it in a time capsule, and in 20 years, you can really kind of like look at again, you will see that you cannot recognize the person that you wrote about. So the next I have fire signs. So Aries is not going to have the same circle of friends and networks, which could mean the change of kind of like what interests you, which can mean the change of job. And so just be open to it because you guys can be very stubborn. Leo is going to be one-on-one relationships. So now that Aquarius is basically king killer, it's killing you literally, and the celebrity culture is not going to work anymore because it's not going to be, oh, let's follow this one, let's follow this one. It's going to be see what is interesting. Many people will probably go on the shuffle, choose from me. You can go on Wikipedia to choose the topic just randomly to learn it. It probably, my prediction is YouTube is going to do the same thing. They're already doing the shuffle on our main page, but this is based on our previous searches. It's going to be possibly randomization of some sort, so that way we don't live in our bubble. We kind of like expose ourselves to different things, and knowledge is power, and that's pretty much who Aquarius is there. Sagittarius is going to really develop communication. This is usually a problem. Sagittarius being blunt and really quickly going to where they want. When you see a Sagittarius that is really expressing themselves well, having that high level of eloquence, then you're seeing somebody who basically has a role. Then you have to keep this in mind. Water signs, and this is kind of it, right? Cancer, that was like together joined with Capricorn in this previous transition, is going to be shared resources, intimacy, and emotional bonds. And under Capricorn, it was okay, what we can acquire together, right? Where we can go. Under Aquarius is going to be almost like this beautiful romantic love that maybe doesn't have to be returned, because Aquarius doesn't necessarily need something to be returned, but it's going to get very angry if things don't really work out for everybody in the long term. Scorpio, so that's the master ruler, transformation in their home, family, and personal foundation. Very important. It's going to be a sense of stability over there, which is important. Lorna, you also look great over there. Just to let you, I'm seeing her over there. I will later kind of like put her on. And then we have Pisces, and this is like a deep psychological transformation, really deep. So Pisces is a really interesting case because I consider Pisces, I never talk about Pisces as a spiritual development. Their moon, and they're two fish kind of like swimming the opposite direction. I kind of like have both positive and negative experiences with Pisces people, which is to be expected with kind of like that kind of like duality that you have there. And I consider them to be a bridge. I don't consider them to be quote unquote one of the signs. I consider it to be a bridge, and maybe sometimes people maintain that bridge to the other side. Sometimes they don't, and that's where the difference is. But they are going to be at this stage, like they're going to reach this realization: I have to really fix everything. I need to kind of like, oh my gosh, people cannot cross it. And how do I expect them to kind of be lured into the spirituality when they have nothing they're benefiting? And up to this point, they couldn't lure them because spirituality doesn't bring you money, even though some people did make it. The big kind of like things like who is a famous Pisces that I'm just thinking right now is Anthony Robbins. And he did a lot of changes trying to help people with their lives. But it's going to be now that we don't need a leader anymore. We kind of like want to do our stuff, right? It's going to blow a bit of that two parallel worlds, as I told you, disorganized chaos, a little bit of that sort, right? So the next that I have here is like sign by sign. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull the card, and Lorna, if you can just put put a sign on the screen, I would really greatly appreciate that. So Aries, first one is Aries. So for Aries, guys, I also have to tell you that we're actually going through, Aries is going to be, where did I write it down for me? There are going to be a few planets that will be transitioning Aries. And Aries is like Aquarius, very individualistic, but their focus is to be a leader, to be the best. Where Aquarius is individualistic, they want to do their stuff to benefit everybody. So, I mean, I could have just focused here just to do the readings and, like, I mean, not to do any of these lives, kind of like, but to me, the point is like to help anybody who might need help. And it was like few things that I really am proud of and that have happened in the past. Even save lives with this, believe it or not. But that was the whole point, coming on and trying to not to kind of selfishly just keep it for yourself, right? So let's see for you, Aries. While I'm shuffling, I'll be reading this. So Pluto in Aquarius brings transformative energy to your social circles and networks. So you will have changes in your friendships, social causes, or online communities. So you need to embrace this innovation and technology to advance your goals. So be open to new and profound connections, and you can have a lasting impact, and it will have a lasting impact of your life. So I am pulling a card, and that card is the Sun. So the Sun is connected with Leo. You have to trust me. I guess he's going to just do it there. It's showing this child on a horse. It's a male child. So the keywords are also the walls. It's going to be inner world. It's going to be still very, very protective, I would say. So be careful of it, because the Sun almost, like, to me, comes through as a warning. If you have a Leo in your life, that Leo is going to be very beneficial to you. But you also, like now with Aquarius, you have to put everything in a question mark. Is this worth it? Is this really working out? Like, I mean, etc., etc. But Leo is also, sorry, the Sun is also the card of a family. And I'm just having a major arcanas over here, guys. I am not doing quote unquote a reading. I'm just looking the flavor that is going to be happening over the next years. So family and contacts and strength is not strength. Strength is another part of Leo, but this is specifically Sun. So I always kind of, like, when I do the readings, and I don't know if you and how many of my readings have you seen, when I see the Sun, I almost like Sun when it's reversed, because it tells me, okay, you're not burning in the sun, because we're also going through this, like, major global weather change. So you're kind of, like, just fine with it. So you don't need to go all the way out. You can just be okay. So no worries about that. So let's go Taurus. This transit affects your career and public image. You might encounter power struggles. Oops, don't go on the floor. It was like just a bundle of cards that come out, but ultimately it was just one. You might encounter power struggles or deep transformation in your professional life. Embrace innovation in your work and be prepared to adapt to changing circumstances. Focus on long-term goals and stay resilient in pursuing your ambitions. The card is death. The card is death, meaning that lots of things the way that you have them, and it's going to be hard, Taurus. The signs that are going to experience the biggest transformation are the fixed signs. So if you have Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, or Scorpio as your sun sign, as your moon sign, or as your ascendant, this is going to require that you are the leader. This is going to require that you really do this work. For you, that card, to me, it says you guys really need to transform, as it's like transformative energy, like I'm in. It's not going to be anything like it was so far. Things will need to change. You'll need to find a different structure. So this means things will die that don't deserve and they don't want to change. So not literally jump to the conclusions, but like, let's say you had an investment which was working really great. If you don't shift your investments to something else, of course, like, I mean, these investments are no longer going to be supported with societal kind of like ideals, and are going to fall flat in their face, hence quote unquote die. Gemini. Pluto in Aquarius stimulates your desire for higher knowledge and personal growth. You might delve into profound philosophical and spiritual pursuits, and your beliefs and perspectives may undergo transformation. to explore new educational opportunities, engaged in meaningful, mind expanding experiences. And the card is Judgment. So it's the Pluto card itself. You guys are going to have a big experiences. You guys are also entering extremely powerful period in May of 2024 when Jupiter is moving into your sign from Taurus. So education and all of these things that Geminis are going through their transitioning is going to be really affecting us all. So having here this card and all the cards in the deck are upright. So basically both of them can apply upright and reversed when this is a message for the Pluto transit for the next 20 years or 19 years at this stage, is that have you been good and have you not been good? This is literally what this card says, right? You're coming to this last kind of like verdict and you're like pleading your case. So you need to literally meditate on what do I consider being good and what do I really want out of life. Never mind what is going on. What would be my idea of the perfect world? And start living your life that way. And that's going to be really important. And okay, Lord, now you're not putting my thingies here. Let me just do that. So the next one is Cancer. So here, let's do the Cancer. 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 So influence, this transit influence your shared resources, intimacy, and deep emotional bonds. You may undergo significant changes in your financial partnerships or investments. You need to focus on healthy transformation in your relationships, intimate and financial, and be prepared for the new opportunities to rise. Cancer, you'll be very tempted. You got Devil card over here, and Tiger is speaking his mind there as well. So the Devil card is kind of like the opposite, the shadow of the Lovers card. So we have like two people chained, but like if you really have a close examination, then they're really not chained. They're like really able to kind of like push it forward and push it away. So this is to me generally talking about financial dependency, that you're with somebody maybe for wrong reasons, that you kind of like think that there's a certain way of playing the game is the way to play the game, and that is going to change. That a certain person maybe convince you that he or she is great for you, but maybe that's not the case. So this is always a lure of something, of some kind of benefit that you're getting from somebody or something. So that is like something that really has to change for you. And so people who are involved with cancers are going to be very affected as well, because they'll be telling them what they want. Maybe that entire structure is no longer going to work. So then we have, next one is a Leo. And Leo, oops, and I got 5, but one jumped out in addition to one. I just want one here. It says Pluto in Aquarius affects your one-on-one relationships and partnerships. You may experience deep transformation in your personal connections, so be open to innovative and unconventional unions. Embrace change in your approach to partnerships and seek balance between your individuality and togetherness. Leo, you're given sort of like a little bit Wheel of Fortune. So Wheel of Fortune is a cycle. So nothing is going to happen really dramatically for you, like instantaneously. It's going to be emotions you'll be going through up and down. And especially if you guys are dealing with the other fixed signs, because this card has Aquarius, Scorpio, which is shown here as a Phoenix. So Phoenix is basically Pluto in Aquarius. That's what Phoenix is. Then you have a Leo, and then you have Taurus. All of them have wings in this card. Wings are, and all of them have books. So they need to learn things. The biggest book, well, I don't know, maybe a Scorpio has the biggest book. So there is going to be something you guys need to learn during this transition. This is literally karma as well, that we kind of like need to kind of like think what we are doing during this transit, because it's going to affect our karma, because this now has 4 rulers in addition to it. But as much as you're going to have really, really good kind of like moments, you're going to have moments that could be dark, and it's going to explore these kind of like situations that you have. So we are going next to Virgo. Virgo. And Virgo, as I said, it's going to bring transformation to your daily routines. Your sixth house in astrology is going to be really vibrant over here. And also work environment. And it could be job or health habits. You might just choose to work in yoga studio instead of like being, I don't know, a factory worker, because it's going to be something connecting to technology, advancement, and self improvement. So I had three cards jumping, but I think this is the most important one. Again, we have the judgment over here for you. And again, the spirituality, how you live your life for the next 20 years is going to be very important. Um, you're going to have to visit your own narrative, do the meditation on who am I? Okay, now who am I in my space? That's the next stage. Who am I in the space with my family and my acquaintances and with my friends? Who is the society? Are these like two different bubbles? And then you need to fuse them. And at that stage, you're going to see shift. It could be even paradigm shift inside of you. And that is going to be the beginning of this new motion of this kind of going forward, right? So Virgo, this is like actually good card. So basically, when it reverses, Judgment talks about that we are not willing to go along with certain things, that we are willing to continue status quo, that we are willing to do things in a bad way. So this entire woke culture, which is maybe difficult to accept, is like saying, look, you need to think about weak. And if you really think about, this was like back in the Bible, and this was like kind of like happening back then as well. So we kind of like forgot the meaning of helping the other human being, right? Then we are going Scorpio. And why is the Scorpio next? Not next. Oh, it's not here because I'm doing. Oh, did I not do Libra? I didn't do Libra, so that's why the Scorpio is not next. So Pluto in Aquarius influences your creativity, self-expression, and romantic life. You may undergo profound transformations in your artistic pursuits or love affairs. Embrace your unique creative talents and be open to unconventional romantic experiences that can deepen your personal growth. And look, nothing. Oh, finally, something did. You guys got Hermit. So one-on-one could mean one. It could mean that one-on-one is like first figuring out who you are, what you want. So again, like personal growth and unconventional romantic experiences could be, I don't know, some kind of pilgrimage, could be some new age workshops, could be something where you're exploring yourself, not just to meet people, because that seems to be something superficiality of Libra. And trust me, having this as an ascendant, I am battling it and fighting it and negating it and denying it. And it's kind of like making my decisive Aquarian nature very indecisive. So I actually understand Libra very much, and that you sometimes go like with the flow, that sometimes you go for the benefit of what everybody wants, instead of kind of doing things that maybe you should. Hey, you know what, I know that this is slippery, you shouldn't be going there, but everybody's going there, so you're not being a problem. New Libra is going to scream, don't go there, are you crazy, don't go there. You're going to see, because Libras can be very feisty, right? Like John Lennon was Libra, like he was evolved Libra, so he was not this kind of tame kind of little sheep. And then we're going into Scorpio. So this transit impacts your home, family, and personal foundations. Uh, you would not believe the card. The card is a star card. So Scorpio, your ruler is Pluto, and like this is Aquarius. So it's going to feel like Aquarius is becoming Scorpio, Scorpio is becoming Aquarius. It's going to be crazy with this, right? So as I said, it's going to be really domestic life and family dynamics. So you need to embrace innovation in your living situations. So the star card, let me just give you a little bit more about star card, is nourishment. Where did you neglect yourself? Like fixed signs usually fix everything around them. We build structures, but sometimes we forget fixing ourselves. And sometimes people point out to us, which is negativity, that it should be kind of like pointed out to us. Well, you're telling me how to fix myself, but you didn't fix yourself. It's like a mechanic is the last one to fix his own car, right? Like, oh, there's no time for me. Yeah, I know how to do it, but you never do it. So you kind of like need to start fixing yourself, my dear Scorpio. If you feel that you didn't reach emotionally that happiness because you crave this emotional, this is who you are, you want to connect with somebody, you challenge your partners to the point that you shred them in pieces just so they're going to be dedicated to you, that you're going to get something really really strong, but then in the process, people kind of pull themselves together and you don't really get what you want with by doing that. So you might actually trust yourself. You might be a little bit of fish out of water, but the reason why you're going to trust more, not maybe yourself, but you are going to trust more, is because you're going to allow others to take the lead. And that is going to be interpretation inside of yourself. Yeah, it's not going to be my fault if something goes off. Okay, but it's going to be so much relief. I also, I don't know why this is coming to me, and but it's coming to me that you had some weird, let's call it diseases. Could be just simply disorders. Could be something that was off, and I feel this was caused by this stress, by kind of like doing everything and being everything to everybody. And with this, you need to be who you are. You need to be authentic. You need to trust yourself, but you also need to relieve that stress. The next one we have is Sagittarius. And so here is like communication sector, here intellectual pursuits and like local connections, because Sagittarius always goes further up. They find a partner from a different culture. Like, I mean, the more evolved you are, the more exotic this partner is, right? It can be really how you involve yourself with the others within that local environment that is going to really come under kind of like fire and under change. But you'll be able to introduce very different and unconventional ideas and experiences. You also have hermit. You're kind of like going to be a solo person doing your own show. You're not going to ask for entire kind of like community to join you. It might be lots of meditation. I don't know, I'm seeing the person on top of the mountain meditating and enjoying the view. It's just kind of like absorbing it, which is also possibly detox, because detox is the word. I'm going to close this with a big detox. We need to do that. And that's kind of like the way to transition. But I see you already doing that for some reason, right? Capricorn. Okay. You first gave us your sun. And with your sun, we fixed everything that was wrong. And then sun fix. And then sun said, okay, now I just need to sleep. I need to go home. And then we went into shadow. And we are in the shadow since 2016. And lots of different things have happened in that shadow. So now, this is going to be difficult for you to, you have the hangman. You have to do what other people do. You have to subject yourself to experiences. You have to gain a different perspective. And that's pretty much what I was explaining. Because what we have currently, what we have evolved into it, it's really not who you are. You still can continue with developing stability and structure, but that kingship and pulling the strings is no longer going to be there, right? So your personal values are going to be different. The stability can be, I don't know, kind of like played in a different arena. It can be, what, I'm going to, because you're earth sign, you're going to develop how the land is being better, nurtured, and what do I do? And that can actually all along help you with this, right? So self-worth is going to be very shaken in your case, because you went too high. You guys probably benefited from all of these ups and downs in the financial world, but you also kind of like possibly suffered. Oh, Lorna, does not add sign on your side. That's okay, no worries. Thank you. I just saw it. So you kind of like need to also find out who you are, not what you wanted to show. Because just anything that we do on the outside, other than helping people, other than something that connects soul to soul level, it's not going to be the name of the game. So for you, this was like the game that you played very, very well. And now somebody says, it's over. I'm taking my ball. I'm going home. So detox again. Remember, you're represented with the devil card. So anything that is concerned with the outward world that you want to go out. Remember, Pluto asks us to die. So you, through this transition, you have died. So you have lived and collapsed. And now Aquarius is coming in with this like big light. It's going to be the best of Aquarius initially, and then we are going to go in the shadow of Aquarius, which can mean that AI is going to take over and that things went too far. So, but right now, here we are. So, guys, just do lots of meditation, connect with people who accept you with who you are, showing yourself in the worst possible, edition. That might really be something. And then we have Aquarius, which I think is going to go through the most profound change, whether this is your sun, moon, or ascendant, right? And as you see, there's not much to do. Like, you have to be authentic and you have to really remove all the conditioning. In India, they condition elephants not to run away by tying them with the big chains to the posts. And they do it so well that when they grow up with that, they don't run away, like unless you really pull them. And they have this big power and strength and ability to do that. So once it was a fire, and they didn't run away because nobody told them to run away. So conditioning is really, really something that is ingrained in all of us. We get conditioned with religion. We get conditioned at home. We get conditioned how our families are doing things, right? We're always paying our debts, or we're like flimsy, or this family was always on the welfare. Oh, well, this is a wealthy family. So these are all conditionings. And it's kind of like we had these pockets of groups that we kind of like trusted, and we kind of like bend down to these conditioning. But this conditioning is something that you need to change if you really want to be authentic. But if your family is a family of lawyers and everybody was a lawyer, and now you have to become a lawyer and you have to take over dad's firm or mom's firm or whatever it is, well, you can still modify it. You can be, war crimes lawyer. So this is like where this Aquarian nature comes in. Or you can be, a pro bono lawyer or something like that. So this is where you really need to shine. But in order to shine, you really need to kind of like look in your face, in your shadow, who you became because of your environment, and also who you really are. And for that, you can look for the clues in your childhood, what you like to play with, who you like to play with. So we are really called to lead over here. We are the 11th sign, and I hate leading. I don't know about you guys, but whenever somebody puts me in charge of something, is like, you know what? I just want to do my own thing. It's not my thing. I do have a Leo also in me, which kind of feels flattered, but very soon I'm going to revert back to this. But it's 1 1, that 11, that is the 11th house, means 1 is the number of the leader and 11 is leader of the leaders. And we hate doing it. I'll speak for Aquarians. I know I shouldn't be doing it. We hate doing it. And I pulled a card that is the High Priestess. So intuitively, we have to go in. It is a number 2, so that is the 11. It's a lower scale of 2 because you cannot stay in the 11 all the time. And she sits here between the 2 pillars, B and J. She's giving BJ. Just kidding. No, she's not. She's silent. She's completely silent. She's observant. She's looking at this world and its emotions. We have a hard time as Aquarians to like kind of tap into your emotions. So you need to figure out, if something makes me feel bad, I shouldn't be doing that, right? Analytical sign has to process emotions in an analytical way. So guys, all I'm saying is, for us to lead here, you have to first find out who you are and what is that you really need in your life, and things are going to get better that way. That was Aquarius, not Capricorn, pardon me. And the last one is Pisces. Pisces. So it's going to be, as I said, your subconscious, your dreams, and inner world. It's kind of like structural spirituality. So I have a feeling that churches and religion will go through massive transformation. They have already had to adapt to the new times, even under Capricorn, and Capricorn's questioning, the income and all of these processes made. And Aquarius is going to question the very core idea: why it makes sense, does it make sense, if it doesn't make sense. Going to be lots of things coming to the surface, and so lots of things will be also coming to the surface um, during the Capricorn. So this is the last day, but it's going to be one more visit next year when the rulers will kind of like speak their minds. So September 1st to November 19th. Election season in the US is going to be interesting. For you, Pisces, I have the Emperor. Maybe you have been too selfless. Maybe you need to establish some firm foundation. Emperor is all about control. Emperor is all about, being a leader. Emperor is all about, I matter, right? And I'm going to kind of speak my mind. And I have all of these other people I need to care of. So for you, this is all going to translate in spiritual kind of like connection, and something that has to happen in that way. So I hope you guys, like, I mean, I just need to kind of organize all of that. I just want to kind of conclude all of this with saying that I wish you all the best, and that detox is a good way to start. Not only like physical detox with our diet. Hi, come here, come say hi. This would be Onyx. This is Mr. Pisces. He's a big kitty. Okay, you can go now. Sorry. I want to add some certain things. I just looked right before this live, because the social media came to me. Social media created a big chunk of problems. And Lorna, I'm going to put you to the stage as well, so you can kind of like add to the conversation. So she's sitting peacefully. Hello, everybody. Bezos is January 12th, 1964. He's a Capricorn. Elon Musk is June 28th, 1971. He's a Cancer. I mean, of course, this is just a sun sign. Zuckerberg is May 14th, 1984. He's a Taurus. So you see this Capricorn and Taurus, and I did look, Musk has lots of earth in it. So we are going to see a massive shift. And Bezos, he owns Amazon. He also owns Washington Post, which is really controlling us politically. Musk is controlling us through the massive social media. And Zuckerberg is basically having this Facebook, Instagram, and we are being told how we need to think, what is important to do it in that kind of like thing. So I really think this is going to be really interesting over here, how this is going to really work out. And I feel it's going to be replacement of our social media. It's not going to be the way it is. We're going to question if the ideas are outdated. Maybe, hopefully, we are going to get a new level of morality. And I don't talk about covering ourselves. I'm not into that. It's just sort of like, in Europe, when you come from Europe, Europe had it kind of like right. You go topless in the beach. This is what you want. If this is how you want to express yourself, and people didn't have this sexual desire to jump you and hump you just because you are topless. But you would not go topless in the street. You would not go topless in the restaurant. Men and women, not only kind of like one gender, because you're slimy. You're like hairy. You sweat, and you kind of like need to cover it. So you don't have to have this common sense built in. We have lost the ability to have common sense in the last, who knows when, maybe throughout my life. So I think that's going to really come back later to establish something that really works for everybody. But contrary to what we had so far, well, the season, this is in, and we are going to do it, and now we decorate houses this way, we dress this way. That's all going to be done. We're going to be who we are, what we want. You're going to have your own home, surrounding yourself with the objects and things that matter to you, that represent you. So when people enter, they're going to see, oh, beautiful sofa I got, there and there, like our, Architectural Digest magazine to show. No, it's going to be, you see this old wool blanket that is full of holes. That's my grandma's. She did it when she was like in something like that. And it's like meaningful to you, and it's going to become meaningful to the other people. We'll be connecting to things and spaces. And because Aquarius is future, but it goes through everything. So, Lorna, what do you think? What is your conclusion, if you have anything so far?
I agree with what you were saying about being authentic, being yourself, and not being ashamed of it. And it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks about you.
Did you have any problems during this Capricorn transit to kind of like feel that way?
Um, Personally, no, not me. Work wise, yes. Yes. Um, there's a lot of there's a lot of stuff going on at work right now, so it's affecting everyone. So we're in a really kind of sad time in our office because
Oh,
yeah, because something kind of major happened in our office, and we're trying to deal with that. So, but as far as like the things that had just happened in this month in my office, I had plumbing issues. The water heater went out. A glass pane door in my kitchen at work shattered just out of the blue. We looked at video footage, nothing hit it, and it just shattered. But thank goodness it's just tempered glass, so it stayed together. But just that was just really odd.
I
But
wonder, it was an earthquake because you live in
no,
San Francisco area,
no,
or
no, we didn't. No, it was. I even asked one of my guys. I'm like, "Hey, can you check the footage?" And this happened about an hour ago. And I said, "I was in a meeting. I couldn't get out of it, and then I got this text. Hey, go to the kitchen and look at the glass." And it was just completely. You could hear it crackling. It was so loud, but
wow.
we had it all covered and everything. So, um, but just the way it happened, it
It's weird
happened
that
so
you're
quick.
saying this because I had objects falling in my home as well, and
Oh,
I attributed that to dog and cats. But when yesterday the snow shovel that I had outside fell, and it was attached, it was hanging on a hook. So in order for wind to lift it, it would have to be strong wind to lift it all the way up and lift it up off it.
mhm.
That's not what happened. So I also checked my security camera. I just like got pulled up and down. So I'm wondering, like, because the reason why we have Halloween, and Halloween is in the Scorpio season, right? Is because this is the smallest gap between the dead and live spiritually, right? Like transition is the easiest to step into the other side. I wonder if because of this transition, which Pluto is again doing it, if we are going through the same thing right now. It's just
It
something.
could be.
It could be fu, it could be anything they want to communicate, right? But it could be significant. That was kitchen. I would kind of think about it, what kitchen significant. It's kind of like nurturing, I would say, kind of like looking those issues of that kind of like sort, so I don't know. It's really interesting. Like, I didn't even think twice about my stuff until now you're mentioning this, because
Mhm.
it could be connected, not necessarily, right?
Yeah.
But I'm open to it. I don't know if I was authentic. I was authentic also, as you said, with my friends and people I know. But for this channel, I tried to kind of like go mainstream. I didn't go into anything political, and I still think this is a good way to go about it, right? But
I agree.
I am feeling, that massive change is coming, and I'm not necessarily anticipating being a fixed sign. It's like, oh no. And you're Gemini also, Gemini Scorpio, right? So you have like this weird combination that is also going to be very much affected coming forward. So all I can say is just like we have to brace ourselves for the change, and the change is going to happen. It's not going to stop. So we can as well kind of like enjoy the ride if we can.
Yes. Yes. I agree. It's like, don't fight it. Just don't fight it. Go with
Just
it.
that's going to be the easiest.
Yeah.
So with that, everybody, I hope this was helpful as well. So I don't know how this is going to manifest. I don't have any predictions, and I am Aquarius in 26 degrees. So technically, 27, almost 27, 26 point, like I mean 50. So if you kind of like take this in kind of like count, so this is my slice of a pie, this 30 degrees, and this is like a basically Pluto now. So by the time it hits me, it's going to be 18 years. So we'll see for 18 years. Like, I mean, maybe it's going to give me chance to slowly. In 80 years, I'm going to be what, in my 70s, 80s? That's going to be fun. So, Ikat, nice seeing you here. Anybody who's still over here with me, I thank you for showing up. I love you all, and hopefully, I'll see you very soon. All the best.
Bye.